We're live streaming. Well, hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Happy 4th of July, everybody. We got a few minutes before we get started here. So I'm a little trying to get things in order. Gotta have fun, gotta have. Right, I think that I may have it now. All right, good morning, good morning, good morning. Do the screen share. Yes. Here we go. I think we got it. I think we got it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting promptly at 10 o'clock as I check all of this to see what is going on. Is it working? Is it not working? It says we're live. I think we got it. Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be starting. Okay, I found this. It's fun learning all that stuff. Okay. All right. All right. Well, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world today, giving praise and honor to God for waking us up this morning in our right mind, able body, to get out here and do what it do. It's so crazy. All this adjustment and stuff. I don't want to say it's crazy. It's amazing. See, the words that we use hold power, right? So today is the 4th of July, and I want to wish you all a wonderful, blessed, safe, happy 4th of July. But I want to kind of piggyback off of what we did yesterday, as I realized today that this is what I do. So as I'm getting used to my new skin, we're going to kind of go over some things today. Hopefully to drop some nuggets or help you in some kind of way, as it has helped me as I continue to share my journey with you and invite you to come and take a peek or take advantage of the opportunity here. Yesterday, we started talking about spirituality, right? And how important it is for us to grow physically, grow and develop physically, mentally, spiritually, right? And before I get into all that, I just want to take care of some housekeeping if I can. As we get started, it's now 10 o'clock. So I want to do that here. All right, we'll do it like this. Yeah. Okay. Just we're going to take care of a little bit of housekeeping here as we continue. My name is Tia Rodgers, and I'm a home-based entrepreneur, professional network marketer that enjoys sharing with others how to do the same. Tia has taken the time to invest in herself through exclusive partnership with e-commerce network marketing professionals, professional debt-free companies that have improved her life through education services, products, and goods, as well as an income-based opportunity. Tia has been in business since 2018 and has grown over the years, growing her business part-time into a full-time business opportunity. Tia is grateful for the opportunity and takes pride in her business mission of offering a hand up and not a handout as life on life terms can be amazing as well as challenging. Um, with with her family values and enjoys the educational services, products, and goods that she not only uses, but offers and shares with others that are interested in what is offered, not just to her, but many others who need and or want the educational service, products or goods and or business opportunity. Tia Rodgers does not guarantee that any opportunity offered for residual income will bring individuals the result they are seeking or proclaimed in presentations of services, products, goods, and business opportunity. As each person's income is based on their own individual performance during the period of enrollment in any business opportunity as they build their business. Should an individual decide to enroll in a business opportunity through this page or any business page and or podcast show associated with this page, please note your results are based off of your ability of being coachable and implementing what is taught in trainings as well as your unique experience you bring. Each individual that enrolls and begins their own independent business through the cost of the opportunity being offered, each individual is welcome to the opportunity to begin the process of building the foundation of a healthy life and lifestyle in a variety of areas. Tia started where she was with what she had, and now is on her way to living a healthy life and lifestyle. Tia knows the value of the opportunity far outweighs the time it has taken her in business. And as she continues to build the foundation of her business, she enjoys sharing it with others. All right, we've got some housekeeping out the way. So what do, right? We provide the strategies, tools that help change individuals' lives through self-awareness, identifying, limiting, and empowering beliefs of self, our life, and our lifestyle, and all that impacts it, finding solutions through services and business opportunity that helps them start with what they have, make it grow just like a garden, the seeds that will require individuals to cultivate and improve their life while learning how to rebuild and or begin living a wealthy, healthy life and lifestyle. We are all born with all we need inside of us. However, over time and life experiences, life wanting to have a better quality of life despite the current circumstances that we may be facing. For example, think of the times in your life where you have enjoyed doing what it is that you do, and then suddenly you get the gut feeling that life has more in store for you, but you may not or may be unable to identify or grasp that very thing that can get you on the path. Many of us probably felt this feeling at different periods in our life. Things don't necessarily have to be going wrong at that time neither. Our life can be the best life, or so we think, until that very moment it hits you. See, a big part of life is relationships and being relatable. It's in the relationships we learn about one another, but more importantly, we learn about ourselves. We bring who we are to every arena, event, moment, circumstances, situations, and experience in our lives as we go along the journey. Some of them grow us, and unfortunately, some can be the very thing that breaks us. But over time, you learn that broken still can operate, function at whichever level it may be. When you believe and know that there's more to life than what is right in front of you, right in front of us. And some can't even see what's in front of them. Break us. Over time, you learn that broken still can operate and function at whichever level it may be when you believe and know that there's more to life than what is right in front of us. And some can't even see what's in front of them. Sad, but very true. Throughout the journey in the life experiences, we will oftentimes seek someone or something to blame. Yet it doesn't resolve the issue, even if there is someone or something to blame at the end of the day. We have a choice to either accept or reject it and move on because we can't stay where we are, not for much longer. We have to figure it out and we have to do it now. Waiting is not an option anymore. So that is pretty much how we're going to begin. And I'm going to go and piggyback off of what we kind of did yesterday and bring out some pointers. Yay. Yeah, I have it all together here. All right. So yesterday we talked about spirituality being the domain of the human existence that pertains to the essence of every human being and to awareness of something greater than ourselves. And that helps us to make sense of our lives, right? We talked about how having a sense of someone looking out for you, entity, the universe, talked about vibrations and how the frequencies we carry on the inside from our day-to-day living, it could be everyday normal stressors, but even everyday normal stressors have a certain level of frequency that goes out into the universe, and then the universe gives it back to us, right? So as we're looking at our biological physical growth, we talked about the beginning of human life, right? How the ovum and the sperm cell comes together and it begins to multiply itself. And we talked about how cells actually rejuvenate themselves. They can generate a healthier cell, or they could generate abnormal, non-healthy cell. And it's all based off of what we consume in our bodies, what we're doing, how physically active we are. And we were looking at growth and development in the idea of strengths and hazards, right? So some of the hazards, we'll start there first. Some of the hazards could be a poor family history, like heart disease, respiratory problems, cancer, diabetes, relatives' deaths, and what was their age at the time of their death. Because a lot of times our past can impact our present in relating to symptoms related to a major illness, right? So if we are not feeling our best, and then we're liable to not be eating and doing the things that's going to generate the healthy cells to generate us to be healthy, right? So that gives us an unattractive physical appearance, possibly in this idea of the poor family history. When you take it back to medical history, poor unattractive physical appearance, and forgive me if I get this wrong, disfigured, in a wheelchair, overweight. Now, people in this category that may be born in this category or suffer from some genetic family history, things that's in their DNA that they have no control over, that's passed down genetically through them, oftentimes are exposed to discrimination and prejudice that can possibly contribute to psychological problems. And it's nothing to ignore, as we all have something seen or unseen going on that may possibly be impacting our lives, right? So those are some of the hazards. Now, what are some of the strengths? Some of the strengths are having high levels of energy, a good sleeping pattern, having a good genetic history, and a good physical appearance. And you're free from physical disabilities doesn't mean that you're free from disabilities that we don't see, right? And resources. So as we're looking at physical and physical growth and developmental growth, and we apply it to the mindset, because mindset is a big part of anything and anytime when you decide that you want to embrace change for your life. You are looking at your life, you done took an assessment, and you're seeing where you are, because you got to know where you are in order to know where you're going. Where do you stand in different areas in your life? So when it comes down to our physical growth and development, biologically, we have to look at the cognitive development and our information processing. How does that really come about? So, we would say a normal, and I always put in quotations. What is normal? What's normal, really, right? Okay, so when we're looking at the cognitive and information processes, we're looking at how we are able to process what we're learning, the ability to focus your attention, the ability to complete a task at your appropriate age, as well as capacity for memory. How well are you able to complete a task that's within your age range? And we know that there are some children that are bright, because if you've been following me, and when I first started out, I talked about from gestation until our older age, and there's the cognitive stages in which a child grows. But that still happens as adults, whether you know it or not. The ability to, focus your attention and to complete a task in appropriate for your age group, or maybe out of your age group. Can you do it? And what's the capacity of how well can you remember, your memory capacity? And sometimes we have to remember the mind can get tricky, right? Because there's positive and negative in everything. So you needed to ignite a spark. So as we are looking at all that, we got to look at the ability, how well is our ability to discern reality, thoughts, and perceptions. You know what I mean? How well are we at problem solving? Abilities and capacity for insights and reflection in that problem solving process. The use of language, whether it's verbal language or nonverbal, verbal abilities of your self-expression, because we're working on us, because we are trying to become the change that we wish to see, right, in our lives. So we're looking at our language, our verbal language, our nonverbal language, and the abilities of our self-expression. How and what is your self-perception? Because we have negative and positive self-perception view of self. And in that perception of self-perception, it has different views. We have a view of ourselves. How do we perceive ourselves? And how do others view? How do we view ourselves when we're with others? That's how I wanted to put that, because I've had a little tongue tie. How do we view ourselves with ourselves, and how do we view ourselves when we're with others? And how do we view the comparison of self with the expectations of others? And what is the perception of what others think about the person? Now, all these things go through our minds over time, and it plays a role in everything that we do. So I want to take a few minutes here, and I want to share a little story with you. Becoming a mother at age 18 and 19, I was married by age 20, 21, and separated by choice within 6 months of the marriage. As a young parent of 2 children, I knew that it was my responsibility to take care and provide for them. Many can say that it's not solely one parent's responsibility to love, care, and provide for their children. But when God tells you that you can't stay where you are, you move. You don't think of what the cost will be or how you will be able to afford it. You just start doing something somewhere and do the best that you can. When you have two little people look toward you to build and create a life and a world for them to live and thrive in, I'm sure most parents will agree that you will do whatever is necessary to provide, create, and build. Most parents do every day, and so do I. My journey, my journey isn't rare or different from most. However, it may have some differences. As a parent, I have never planned outside of what I could earn. I operated within the means in which I was all able, and within the means I was able to provide for my children. Through welfare, that requires you to give the name, date of birth, and social security number of the other parent. Through this service, many are provided monetary funds and food stamps on a monthly basis. These services also will issue a child support order for the other parent and or absent parent. Yes, the government assistance program will place an order to be paid funds that are received for your children. Should you be unable to provide for them, this information is not known to many, but if you have ever received assistance, you know. During the service, it was good. It was a good time to begin to prepare oneself for the future moves, as a monthly stipend can help, but it won't get you very far, yet it serves a purpose. The parenting responsibilities required shelter, utilities, food, clothes, the basics. There's nothing wrong with being able to provide the basics until you can identify a way to provide more income to obtain more of the wants we call luxury that now has become a necessity in some cases. For example, having transportation to get to and from, and how does it fit in your budget? Not everyone deems a car a necessity and will utilize transit services or car service, all of which has to be factored in to one's monthly budget. With no child support and not seeking to fight for child support, as visiting the courts to ask someone to take care of their responsibility just to fit into one's schedule as the provider. Parenting alone has its plus and minuses, as it provides you more time to spend with your children and forces you to become creative in activities of each day. As this helps the children to develop a routine and gives them a sense of responsibility early on as they are starting life. When you're parenting, you don't really think about what things you're missing, like hanging out with friends or dating. Because if you're doing it right, you're busy with your children throughout the day, from wake up to sleepy time. Once it's established, I know as a young parent, we think that our children are our company, but that's far from the truth. In some ways, yes, your children are there with you, but they need structure that provides them the space to truly grow and develop. So implementing a schedule from the set time you give them for their wake up, wash up, breakfast time, first activities of the day, so on and so forth, until it is their bedtime again, that you set for them. This allows the children to get the proper rest needed to make it and help them process their days, weeks, months, and years. Along my journey as a parent, just as many of my peers were doing as well, I found that my male peers were experiencing troubles co-parenting with their children's custodial parent. Now, for those who don't know the custodial Custodial parent is the parent that the child lives with and is the primary caregiver of the child. Some report being taken for increases in child support whenever they would get a pay increase. They reported having trouble getting their children on the days scheduled through parenting mediations agreements. They even reported that other parents would go as far as causing disruptions at their workplace and or reporting them to child services. Many times, these conversations came about due to my parenting and my perspective experience of parenting. Mostly, I didn't look for problems, nor create any problems for my other parent because he pretty much created his own. So, taking time to cease, taking time to cause unnecessary drama wasn't my thing at all. Not that our children could not benefit from the funds and his time, but when they don't have either or feel that you have the children so they are good, what do? You handle your business, right? And I'm going to stop there to go back to the physical growth and development. As you see, I'm sharing a part of my life with you during the child rearing stages, which was different than living home with mom and dad. Now I am a parent and I am looking at how am I going to build a life for myself and build a life for these children, right? And I'm sure this is something that people think about from time to time. Even if you're not even a parent, you're someone that's building your own life. How do you go about building your own life? How do you make sure that your foundation is strong, right? And as we were processing it, and we talked about some of the strengths and the hazards. So when you think about that, given a situation like that, it can be kind of stressful, right? Because now you're looking at your financial stability. And we make it because, like I said, money is a currency that constantly flows. It's an exchange for services and or goods. So we know how to hustle, make money, right? As people, whether it's doing hair, being an Uber. There's all kind of ways to make money, but how do you begin to start building wealth and building a safe nest egg for you and your family, especially when you're starting out with not much? There's little ways that you can begin to start putting away funds to save, even out of a minimal income, because first of all, that you have to provide a roof over your head, so you have to be able to pay the rent if you're not living with someone and splitting. Do you earn enough to pay the rent, the roof over your head, the utilities that goes along with it, and any other services? And if you want cable and all these things, all those numbers are factored into your capability of beginning to build out or map out your budget, right? So one thing we know, that life is full of natural resources. And there's plenty of things that's right here in the land. If you educate yourself, to know what plants to go out and be able to eat, or what plants to buy to be able to grow that could be beneficial to adding dollars back into your pocket, because now you're growing it in your home or in your yard, could benefit, right? That's some money saved in your pocket. So as you're learning about the different natural resources, if you're trying to find ways to be savvy with your money and budgeting your money, and making sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck, but also that you're getting healthy things that's going to help your body rejuvenate and do the things that you needed to do to give you that high energy level to provide you good sleep patterns, because when you worry about your finances, you got these children, you could be all over the place. But when you look back at the natural resources, and we're talking about finances, I don't want to go off on a tangent. I want to stay within our time frame and stay focused on what we're talking about. Natural resources are air, water, soil, minerals, plants, and animals, right? And practicing caring for these resources so all living things can benefit from them now and in the future. Then we're looking at the economic resources, and the economic resources breaks down to land, labor, capital, entrepreneurship, fresh water, air, and heavy metals. Because money is a medium of exchange for economic resources, money is not an economic resource. But how do we begin to take our money and begin to build wealth for ourselves, right? Now, when you looking at cognitive development and information processing, we're talking about the ability to focus and attain ability to complete tasks, as well as the capacity to memorize what it is that you're doing so that you can become better at that. And not only we're looking at problem solving abilities and capacity for insights and reflections. So we talked about how we can have the negative and the positive within us. So if you got all this stuff going on, from the story I shared, you got all these things, it feels like life is coming at you, right? You got all this stuff going on, you're trying to better yourself, but nothing seems to be working out right. The relationship ain't working out right. Like trying to improve from where you are to get to where you see yourself in the future seems like a very long struggle, and like it's just like it's you're never going to obtain it, but you do eventually attain it. It's all in how you problem solve and what insights and how do you reflect on your problem, because every problem has a solution. Now, with abundance, we have an abundance of natural resources, human resources, and capital resources. How do we begin to access them? How do we navigate our way to get there, right? Now, if you that's a more mindset of growth mindset with abundance. You're thinking about the natural resources, looking about the human resources, what can help you, right? Capital resources, what do you have right now that you could attain to make your situation better? But a scarcity mindset is where there is the gap between poor and wealthy, because we lack certain things. We lack capital, we lack economics, and there's equality. But I'm here to tell you network marketing allows that equality. So as we are about to wrap up, and we're looking at our self-awareness, and we're looking at our spirituality, and we're looking at our physical growth, the strengths and the hazards. So feel free to go back over them and do your own little assessment to see how well you're gauging yourself. You can assess yourself and see where you fall at. So for self-awareness, we have, who am I? And what does my life mean? All right. The next one is, who am I? And what difference can I make in the world? And last, things I love about myself that could benefit others. Now, we'll be back tomorrow, but I want you to work on those little things, those 3 questions. Take some time to sit down and explore those 3 questions. And I want to thank you today for your time. I think we pretty much got it down to the 30 minutes. So as we are growing, learning, and healing, and we are getting ourselves together, we're looking at how we journey through life, and we can navigate, you can overcome challenges, because I want you to remember, you were a winner from the time that you were conceived in your mother's womb. You're born with everything that you need to succeed in this life. So do that self-exploration, do that self-awareness exercise, begin looking at yourself. Don't overconsume yourself with yourself, but look at how your life is going. How is it interacting when it comes to dealing with others that are around you? And what is others' perception of you? Not that other people's business, what other people think of you is your business. But when you're self-assessing, it's okay to kind of like see the differences, because God gave you a vision. God gave you a purpose in your life. And it may not match everybody else's, and everybody may not get you because he didn't give it to them. He gave it to you. So as you're continuing this journey, no matter where you are, we're going to continue to keep on growing, learning, and healing, because that's what we do here. As we're giving hands up and not a handout. It doesn't mean that we're not willing to work with you, because we know the journey. We've been there. So with that being said, happy 4th of July, ladies and gentlemen. Remember, you're a winner. Go out there and be awesome today. Happy 4th of July. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.